Well, hi everybody. I'm sorry I'm late. Had a few difficulties, but I am here now. And welcome to my Facebook Live. I'm Verna Mullen from Stampin' Notes, and I'm a I'm a Western New Yorker. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Western New York, and I live in a very rural area, and I'm coming to you tonight from my studio. Say hi, tell me where you're from. I always love to know that. And today I'm going to be showing you a new bundle called Branching Out. And it's going live tomorrow. So if you don't have a new mini catalog, let me know. If you don't have a demonstrator, I'd be happy to send you one. And I'm just getting my computer up here. Going back to my Facebook page. Let's see here. Here we go. Anyway, so what I really love about this bundle are these dies with the frame. They're just beautiful. And I wanted to show you a really cool card design that I came up with to use, show off the layers of these dies. And so this is a stamp set, and this is in, as I said, in the new September to December mini catalog. It isn't really specifically Christmas, but you can use it for Christmas. It has a lot of sentiments in it that are, like there's a birthday, happiest birthday wishes, sent with love to a very special someone, wishing you a day filled with merry, happy moments, or many happy moments. I changed it there. Okay, thinking of you brings joy to my heart, and there's a big hello. There's the branches and the pines and the little pine cones. There's also this sentiment friend, and there's these dots that you could use for snow or whatever in your background. So here's a look at some of the cards I've done, and I want to show you how to do this fold. This particular card uses a new die that's coming out. It's in the catalog. It's part of the traditional labels set. And this is the set right here. It has just beautiful dies with it. And so anyways, this is one of those dies in the set. And I backed it with another one that's cut out from Early Espresso. And here's the beautiful pine branches. The paper is the Elegance paper. It's from last year. It's still available. And it is called for sure, Season of Elegance. Has a lot of gold in it, different colors with gold in it. And then this card opens like this. It says, wishing you a day filled with happy moments. So this could easily be used for a birthday card. It could be a great men's card, masculine card. You could take off the gems if you wanted to there. So that is one of the cards, and this is the other one. This one is done with the Nests of Winter Designer Series paper, which is another carryover. And here I've layered two of the dies. This is Very Vanilla and Shaded Spruce together. This one, there's two dies layered together, or two die cuts, but we've skipped, you could stack another die in there. And these are the little die cuts from the set. There's the pine cones and the pine boughs themselves. There's those sweet little birds, and then there's another little bird from the Nests of Winter. And this is a really cool die here. So in the set, it's this one right here. I really like that. We got it upside down there. Then there's the pine cone, and there's these little sprigs of berries or whatever they are. So really great set for, especially for winter. I really love it. And so this card closes. You've got an inside card here, and then you've got these flaps that go like that, and then you have a flap that folds over like that. So this third card here, I'm going to show you how to do this stamping to get kind of a weathered look, like a snowy look to it. And so what happened with this was I glued it on upside down. So it opens like this from the side. So I'm going to redo this. I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful card. And this paper is also in the catalog. It comes with a Traditions of Christmas bundle, or a suite. I believe it's a suite. And it is really pretty paper. I'm going to grab it and show it to you. Hi, Mom. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Shelly. Nice to have you girls here with me. Okay, so this is called Traditions of Christmas. The colors in it are Cherry Cobbler, Old Olive, Pool Party, Real Red, Secret Sea, and Gold. So it is a specialty paper with touches of gold in it. And I love the pink in here. Also, some of the dies in this set will die cut out. I know there's a die that will cut out these swags here. And on the back, we've got Secret Sea. Here's the red. There's the Old Olive. And on the back, there's a beautiful poinsettia pattern. Isn't that pretty? I love that. Then there's these bouquets, and there's also a die in the set that cuts these out. There's 2 sheets of that, and we have this striped pattern on the back there. This one, we looked at the front, but the back is Secret Sea. Let's see, we looked at those 2. This one has a really pretty plaid pattern on the back there. And then here's Touches of Pool Party, Secret Sea, Old Olive. This looks like Real Red. So it's a gorgeous, gorgeous paper. And I love this here with the pink and the red poinsettias together. The Pool Party and the evergreens there. All right, so that paper I used on this card here. Now, let's go ahead. I'm going to show you how to make this card design. And as I said, I've used these for the flaps here on this card. All right, so I'm going to grab my pieces here. And we have our base that is 5.5 by 4 1/4. Oops, I lost you guys. I gotta get back up to where you were here. I'll try to watch your comments. And okay, Old Olive, 5.5 by 4 1/4. We have a piece of crumb cake, and this is an odd size. So this is 8 instead of 8.5. 8 by 4 1/4, and I just want to make sure I'm telling you right. This is 8 by 5 1/4. Big mistake there. Okay, so it's really wide. It's wide, but not as long as normal. So, and usually our width is 4 1/4. So this is a little extra wide. So 8 by 5 1/4 of crumb cake. Then we have 2 pieces that are 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. These are for the little flaps. And we have a little mechanism. We may not use this, but I used it in the other cards. This is 1 by 2, and it's scored at 3/4 of an inch. And then we need our front card layer. And I'm going to bring this back in and cut that. So our front layer is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. And let's go with the pattern that we had before. All right, so we're gonna go 3 7/8 by 5 1/8 for the front layer. And then for these layers here, I've used the 2nd largest, 3rd largest, and 4th largest of the die cuts from the branching out bundle, these here. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start with our base here, and actually we'll start with our card in the center. So this is a piece that is 8 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to adhere this piece of designer series paper on. That's 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. Hi, Shelly. All right, so we're just gonna, and I'm using Stampin' Up's glue. I just happen to have it in a glue gun. This is from My Sweet Petunia, or I believe you can get it on scrapbook.com. It's great if you have arthritis. And I like the precision needle on it. Usually it does not get plugged up. Mine is a little older, so I've got to clean the nozzle out. And it does plug on me a little bit. All right, so we've got that on there. And now we're going to take these 2 pieces right here. They're 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. And I was thinking about, I don't like when you open this that you see the pink flowers, because I like the more rustic look, the pink, and I was thinking about doubling it, but it may make it too heavy, so I guess I'm just going to go with it the way it is. All right, so we're going to do some scoring on these 2 squares. And we're going to score on the diagonal from point to point. So I'm laying it in the scoring base there, and I'm going to take my lighter. I'm not really pushing, I'm just running this back and forth. And you can, and I'm going to fold it in half. You can just fold it without scoring it. It just seems to help to have that score line there. It seems to fold easier. And we're going to do the same thing with this one. So each point is in that little gutter there. And I'm going to fold this in half like that, okay? Now what we're going to do is we're going to bring our card base back in, and we're going to adhere the back to the inside of our base. Open your base, and we're just going to put adhesive on one side of the paper here, or 1/2 of the side here, the inside, like this. Okay, I'm going to lay that down and center it and fold it over. So the adhesive is only on this side here. These are the flaps that are going to go over the front. We're going to do the same thing with this one and add it to the bottom of the inside card. Okay, I'm just going to turn it this way and center that on there. So I'm going to move it a little bit down just a tad. Okay, that looks pretty even. All right, so we've got those on there. All right, so now let's create our layers for the front. And it's going to close like that. We don't have it on the base yet. So I'm going to adhere the two larger layers together. So if you place an order with me this week of $50 or more, I'll send you the cardstock and card pieces that you need to make one of each of these 3 cards. And you will need the branching out set to make them. And if your order is $75 or more, I will include a package of the gems that I'm using tonight. And they are a new Christmas gems that are in the Traditions of Christmas bundle. They're right here. They're really pretty. There's 3 different sizes. So this is real red. This looks like Granny Apple Green, Pool Party, and a gold. And these are the large, and then there's a middle size, and then a smaller size there. So very pretty gems. I forgot to turn my ring light on. I'm just gonna turn that on. It might help a little bit here. There we go. There's a little more light. All right, so let's do some stamping on this. This is going to be our artistic piece. And I'm going to bring in a piece of scrap paper to lay this on because we're going to do a little bit of blending on it. And hang on a minute. Okay. I know I brought scrap paper over here. I don't know where it is. Okay, so to give it kind of a rustic look, you can see that it looks kind of rustic. We're gonna add a little bit of crumb cake to our crumb cake cardstock. Hey Sharon, hi Margaret. Thank you for sharing, Margaret. I hope the video didn't stop. There we go. Are you guys there? I don't know what happened. I hope it didn't stop. All right, so I'm using the small blending brush. I'm going to blend off a little bit on my scrap paper. And let's go back and try this again. We're going to add just a little bit of crumb cake there. Okay. All right, so we've got a little crumb cake on there. Close this up. And all right, so I'm going to come back in. We're going to stamp some, looks like snowflakes in the background. And it would be with this. There's a larger one, but I'm going to use the smaller one right here. And that is right here. And I'm bringing in my craft white ink pad. So these come, they don't have the ink in them. And you ink them up yourself. And I'm not sure that I did a great job at it, but Might need to be a little more ink on there. This is pretty faint. But actually I don't want it like blaring out either, so we'll go with it. The craft ink does take a little longer to dry. So there's that. Oh, I'm going to leave that open because we're going to use that again. And there are 2 branches in this set. This is the longer one. I'm going to use the shorter one just because this isn't a very large piece here. And I'm going to use Early Espresso. Does anybody that's watching have this set? I love anything with evergreens and greenery. Okay, so we're using Early Espresso here. And I'm just going to bring it down a little bit because the pines, to have room for the pines to show up here. And now I'm going to stamp the evergreens. So the evergreens come in, there's a group of 3, which works great for this. Actually, there's 2 groups of 3. So you could do double stamping. Find the stamp set here. There's like a larger, these are a little larger than the other ones. And then there's a single one. One of these is a single one. And these seem to be a little smaller, but maybe it's my imagination. Okay, so I'm going to use Mossy Meadow for the evergreens. And you can kind of line them up with these little branches that are sticking out here. Let's see. Okay, so I goofed that one. I'm going to have to stand up because of the camera to do this. I'll just draw a branch out to there. Or we could put a pine cone. There's ways to fix it. Okay, so this one, let's see here. Okay, that one's pretty good. Then if you want to, you can add pine cones. You can add more of the greens there. And I'm going to grab our other green, our single green, evergreen green. Let's put this one right here, like that. And now for the little pine cones, and I'm going to use Early Espresso for them. They're pretty small. Let's take one off here. All right, so we'll ink him up. I'm going to put him right in there, so I don't really think that missing branch is going to show that much. We'll put another one there. I'm going to come down here with that one. And I think I'm going to leave the rest of that. Okay, so let's add a little bit of snow to the end of the tip of our greens there. And I'm going to come back in with the 3 smaller ones here. And my white ink. I'm just going to take this top one here, just get a little ink on the very end of the branches there, like that. Let's try that again. Okay, and it just adds enough so it's not super dark, but it just adds enough to give the impression of snow on there. And I'm not pushing the whole stamp down, I'm just using the end of it. I'm going to do that one again. Okay, I saw Sherry, I don't know how to say her last name, Stakovich, doing this with her greenery, putting snow on it. Okay, so I'm going to hold that up. I hope you guys can see that. It just gives it a little extra touch of snow there. I'll wipe my stamp off here. Oh, Lisa, you ordered it. Okay, so we're gonna add this here. You have, Lisa, you have the other pine cone greenery paper. I would look to get that. So tomorrow, online, not only the catalog, but online exclusives are gonna be available to purchase, new online exclusives, and there are some beautiful products. All right, so isn't that pretty? That makes just a simple but pretty front there. Move this out here. And I think I would like a little more crumb cake on this. I'm going to try adding just a little more of that. Yeah, just make that a little darker there. Right there. Okay, that gives it a little more of a rustic feel. All right. So we've got this. We've got our part of our card done here. I'm going to go ahead and stamp another, I think the larger branch. Nope, I'm going to go with a smaller one on the inside here. Right, and let's add our 3 green pines. And this is Mossy Meadow. Let's see if I can get this right this time. Nope, I goofed it. Part of it's because of the way I'm sitting. All right. And I'm not going to add the snow to the inside here, but I am going to add some pine cones. Remember, did any of you make those wreaths from the pine cones where you hot glue all the cones together on like a styrofoam wreath? And I had that thing for years. It was when my boys were little. It was a long time ago. Let's do another one right here. Okay. There is our inside. All right, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to add a little mechanism to the back of our card before we add it onto our base. And this is going to hold our sentiment and help keep the bottom flap closed. You could do it without the flap on the front, but I like the look it gives. Like there's that, and this actually is supposed to be under here. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 folds in this card. This one right here. Well, the Season of Elegance Designer Series paper. And that's the inside of that one. But it would sit like, you could do it just like that if you wanted to. All right, so now we've got all of our pieces, the 2 flaps and the little mechanism onto our card. And we're going to add adhesive on the back and layer it onto the base. The other thing you could do if you wanted to was add ribbon back here, put it on, and the ribbon would keep the flap down. We still have to add our flap to the front here if you wanted to do that. Okay, and then I'm just adding my adhesive on the back like that. All right, and we're going to center it onto, and make sure you put it the right way because I didn't on my previous card. Your opening should be on the right. And we're going to center it right on that base, like that. Okay. I'll wipe my hands. I've got glue on them. All right, so here is our top flap, and we're just going to layer it up. I'm always just setting this on here to eyeball where it's going to go. And then I'm going to add adhesive. I find it easier to add adhesive to this, the flap, because then you're not getting, putting too much glue back here and getting it on the card where you're not supposed to. So I'm going to add it up to about there and go across. And it's just the top flap. I'm going to set this back down and bring this and eyeball. You want the top to be about the same width as the bottom layer here. That looks about right like that. Whoops. Okay, so you could add a banner across here. You could add like a little circle on this. I think I'll try a circle. You can also add something in here before it's opened all the way. And I won't put my inside sentiment in just because I don't know what I want to use it for yet. Could be a birthday, anything like that. Or you could leave this off and put your sentiment here and just have it like that. But let's add, actually maybe we'll add our sentiment to this right here. So I'm going to come in with a crumb cake, and I'm going to add some crumb cake to this label. Just to darken it up a little bit. And this label is from the Stylish Shapes die set. Okay, so let's stamp on there. What does this say? Wishing you a day filled with many happy moments. So let's stamp that on there in Early Espresso. Right, and I'm going to stamp just, take a little pine cone here, and stamp it and just stamp off, and then add it on the corner edge there. And we'll do the same thing up here. Whoops. All right. Wishing you a day filled with many happy moments. Okay, let's bring our card back in. And it's going to go, the label's going to go on just like that. So I'm going to add adhesive to the back of my label here. Oh yeah, Elegant Pines, that's what it was. The paper and that whole set is just beautiful. All right, so we're looking to see if the label is centered. Now I think what I would like better is to die cut some of the pine cones. In fact, I think I will right now. And add on the side here with some twine. Okay, I'm going to grab my little tiny pine cone here. And run it through my die machine. I'm going to do 2 of them. the other thing you could do is you could add a pine cone here. You might be able to add, like put a dimensional under it so that is tucked under there if you wanted to. In fact, I might try that. And then you could add a couple here on this end. Let's try that and see if it works. Okay, and I'm going to cut this in half. Let's see if I left enough room to tuck that under there. Probably not. Probably need a little more room there. Okay, yeah, that works. All right. And then I would could add another one here. Or we could add, no, I don't like that. I'm going to add another one on the other end with just some glue. So the other thing I would like is to have some pine up here. So you see, so all of the pine boughs aren't covered. So let's try, I'm going to add just a little branch, a bit of this branch hanging down there. I'm going to cover this. Let's just add a little bit there. Okay. And bring in our single, no piece too big. Well, we'll make it work. Bring in our single greenery. Okay, and let's add this here. And wouldn't you know, it didn't stamp good. Let's try this again. And then we'll add a little pine cone up. Hanging down here. And I smudged that. It's not bad though. Okay, so I'm not super liking this here. I think I like it better without this. What do you guys think? That's what I think. I think I like it without that banner going across there. I'm going to put this here. And then I could add a couple other of these here. So I think I'm just going to cut that off and it won't even show. Because I think just the prettiness of the flap there. Okay. And then let's put a little twine around it. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Elsie. Oh, did I move the card? I'm sorry. Let me see. I haven't been watching the... Hi, Diane. I haven't been watching the video and comments, so... Okay, let me move this back down here. So yeah, I think I would add another pine cone here. And let's add some twine or ribbon around that. I think it'd be really pretty. I'm going to tie this Mossy Meadow ribbon around it. I always have such a hard time trying to get this plastic off it without gouging my ribbon. Is there a secret? Does anybody have a secret to that? Okay, I got the plastic. There we go. I think this would be really pretty wrapped around it with a bow like on the side. Let's try it and see what it looks like. So I think this is, let's just wrap this around here. And tie a bow. Let's do it this way. Maybe not. Maybe I won't like it. Okay. My loop has become unlooped here. Whoops. Nope, I really don't like it. But let's try this. Might like this. Just a bow on there. No, I think what needs to go on there is twine or linen thread. Okay, this twine comes in the Gathering Moments bundle. All right. Okay, so, nope, I really don't, I don't like that either. Anyways, we could stamp a small stamp down here. And I'm sorry to hold you guys up. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with that. So I'm going to stamp Friend down here. It's very small. So it will fit on there, or we could stamp it up there, or there's Sent with Love. Let's do that. Sent with Love. And then it would be pretty, I think, with another couple of die cut pine cones, but I'm not going to do that right now. All right, here's our early espresso. Let's stamp Sent with Love right here. Oh yeah, that's pretty. All right, so let's take a look at the cards. So I showed tonight this one, and it opens like this, and then like that. And I'm not sure what I want to use it for. It could be birthday or Christmas, either or. This one does not have a label coming across. I think it looks better like that. And then I showed this one earlier. This is with a Season of Elegance Designer Series paper, very vanilla, and pretty peacock, and the new traditional labels stamp set and die, okay, and also the gems. And then this one here is with a Nest of Winter DSP. Here's the die cut branch. There's a little bird, and this has that long garland of berries there. So if you would like the kits to make one of each of these, I will send you everything you need. You will get the Designer Series paper. You will need the branching out bundle to do the stamping and the die cutting, but the other things will be cut for you. So I hope you enjoyed this, and thanks so much for hanging out with me tonight, and I hope you have a good rest of the week. Take care now.